Hello there, welcome back to The Groomsman. I'll be your host, Jonathan. Today I'm using Sangre De Drago by Paa. This is dragon's blood. It's got, which is a tree resin, and then sandalwood and oud, so it's very much a very woody, resinous scent. I really like it. The oud is not like too outstanding. Some people don't like oud. It's a bit stinky, but the oud I think is really balanced really well by the sandalwood. It's got kind of a sweet, spicy sandalwood in it. It's really, if you like woody tree scents, I highly recommend this. I think it's one of my favorite scents out there. One of my favorite by Paa. Really, really good. Got it all lathered up here with my Chisel and Hound brush. Tourmaline, I think. I don't know. It's kind of a bluish green. Very cool looking. It's kind of on the smaller side. It's got 26mm knot. I can't remember who the knot's by. It's not a Chisel and Hound knot. Got this. I bought a mystery box back in the day when I first started getting into brushes and soaps and stuff. And this came in the mystery box. It's kind of a silver tip knot, so it's very, it doesn't have a lot of backbone. Feels really nice on the face. Does a nice little, got a nice little cloud. It's set pretty deep, which is good because otherwise it would have no backbone at all. Haven't shaved in 5 days. It's been a minute. I've been lazy about shaving recently. I had a long weekend, and I was going to shave yesterday, and then I ended up getting to bed later than I thought, and I had to get up super early for work, and just decided to hit snooze 4 or 5 times instead. So here I am shaving today. Continuing my straight razor adventures. About halfway through the 30-day challenge here. Using the Giraffe again, I've used before on channel. Rather a large blade, comparatively speaking. I didn't take measurements. I don't know how big it is compared to others. I just know that it's bigger. It's the biggest one I've got so far. Yeah. I did just get an email yesterday from the Honemeister over at Razor Emporium. My razors were done being honed. I assume that means it's done with all the services. So we got polished and honed, and one of the razors I got new scales because the scales are broken. So I'm hoping to get an email today that it's shipped, and maybe just maybe I'll get it before Christmas. It's kind of in that weird period now where it's getting close down to Christmas and UPS is getting logged up. I don't think, like, buying from some stores, I don't think they're guaranteeing that you can get it by Christmas anymore, or you have to pay for the more expensive shipping option. It's pretty comfortable going through this much growth. I can tell it feels different than if I was shaving with like 1 or 2 days growth, but it doesn't feel bad. Sounds a lot, like, sounds a little aggressive, but it's pretty comfortable. If you guys are all ready for Christmas, I think we're about done with Christmas gifts. I might find 1 or 2 more things for my wife. I do have to take one of my daughters out still to buy a Christmas gift for her. My son got something online for her, and then I had an appointment yesterday with my youngest, and we stopped at a couple of stores on the way home, and she picked out a couple of things for us. I gotta get that wrapped. And after that, I think that's it. I think that's – Christmas taken care of this year. It's definitely, I can tell it's a lot easier shaving with the straight now. I feel a lot more comfortable. I think I definitely have, part of it's probably because I have an expectation or I have an understanding of how it's going to feel. Yeah, I'm not as nervous anymore. I feel more confident making my strokes. I think I went a lot quicker than the first shave. This little part right here is always a little, using the other hand, kind of blocking my eye. I gotta work this week, and then next week I have a short week. And then I'm off for like 10 days straight for the holidays, which is pretty awesome. Kind of worked out with like the work holidays. I only had to take like a couple days of CAL, they call it here. PTO, time off. It's kind of like bridge the gap between the Christmas break and the New Year's break. The left hand, still a little dumb. But it's getting smarter. I guess I kind of showed you guys. I don't know. I know some people like that. All the whiskers on the blade. It was pretty impressive. I mean, it really took down those 5 days growth. Which I always say with the tone of surprise. Like, it's a razor. That's what it's supposed to do. I can't remember if I said it or not. I got the email from Razor Emporium, from their own Meister. I think I started that conversation, then I got sidetracked and didn't finish it. No, I don't know how far I got into it. He finished it. I think I said that part. I'm hoping to get it shipped here soon. I'm really excited to try the Stay Sharp. It seems like the heel of the blade is a little smoother than the toe of the blade. When I'm trying to do this corner, like on this side I was using the heel, the back side of the blade, and it was pretty smooth. On this side, kind of using the toe. No, that ain't gonna work. Ah, look at that. See? Using the right hand. Well, left hand, but the correct hand. It's a little smoother right there for some reason. It might just be because I have a little bit more leverage on this side from where my hand is versus all the way over here. So it might, I think it makes it skip a little bit more. I mean, that was pretty good. So halfway through the month challenge or whatever you want to call it, 30 days of using a straight razor for just the one pass. I'm not going overboard with it. It did a pretty good job. I mean, I had a lot of growth on there and it took a lot of it off. I'm pretty happy for first pass. I felt a lot more comfortable with it. I think on my next shave, I'm going to start incorporating my neck. It's not quite 30 days, but I'm okay with it. I think I'm getting pretty confident with the grain pass, so I'm going to move on and just add kind of an up. It's kind of hard to say against the grain. This way is kind of across the grain for this part of my neck, and then right here would be more of against the grain. But I'm going to start incorporating that part, kind of a second pass into my straight razor routine. So that's what to expect on the next ones. In the meantime, I'm going to finish up here with the Overlander today. the golden Overlander. I also got that from Razor Emporium. I bought it brand new from them. I'm pretty sure they keep selling Karve stuff. And anyway, so you can buy razors from them. If you buy a brass razor or whatever razor, you can also have services applied to it at the same time as your purchase, which is what I did. So I bought a brass Overlander and then paid for them to plate it in gold because it seemed really cool. And it was really cool. They got nickel plating services, which are a little bit more cheaper, and then gold, and then rhodium. I think they used to offer more options like rose gold or whatever, and I think they just stay with the 3 now because they're the more reliable. They don't want to have issues with their plating coming off because it's a substandard metal, or it's not appropriate for something that's on a razor and it's constantly wet and stuff. So I think those are the only 3 options they currently offer: is the rhodium, gold, and nickel. They used to do silver. I don't know if they do silver anymore. Anyways, the gold Overlander, plated brass. I got a Voskkod in there, I'm pretty sure. Neutral exposure. Not a lot of blade gap. Very comfortable to use. I did get asked in some comments in one of my other videos recently. I think the blade gap is pretty similar to a winning. They're both pretty small blade gaps there. The winning has a little less visible blade. I think they're both listed as neutral blade exposure. I think the gap's a little bit bigger on this one than the winning. They feel similar. That said, my opinion on the comment when they were asking, kind of comparing it, the 2 razors together, and I said I like them both, which is true. I try my best not to lie. I don't lie, but I may exaggerate. I do like both. Obviously, I'm using this one today. I think the winning might be a little bit more efficient. Actually, I'm not going to say might. See, that's where I kind of get in the exaggeration. I'm trying to be nice. The winning is more efficient than the Overlander. And by efficient, I mean it gets a slightly closer shape. It's not, there's no more blade feel. They both have a neutral blade exposure. By efficiency, I just mean how close the shape is. If I would use the term, if I was trying to describe how much like a very blade forward razor, then maybe I might use the term aggressive. I can feel a lot of blade. But for me, efficiency is only describing the closeness of the shave. Now that being said, they're pretty close. You gotta trim this goatee again. It's getting a little shaggy. I think I might shorten it up a little bit again. Got a pair of clippers around here somewhere. I might break them out at some point. The last couple times I've just been shortening it. I just get, find a clipper with the right guard size and just run it over the whole chin and just shorten the whole thing up. Makes it easy. For a while there, I had a different clipper. I don't know, more like a detailing one. My wife had got me. And I use it to kind of shape my chin hairs, my goatee area, into more of like a naturally like tapered look with my jawline and my chin, so it was more angled. Came to a bit of a point, not an aggressive point, but a little pointed. Very smooth against the grain. I do really like these Voskkod blades. I think they're getting hit by the whole discontinuation from that plant in Russia or whatever. So I imagine at some point this will be new old stock. They'll stop making them. And the prices will go up on whatever's left. But as of right now, I'm pretty sure you can still buy them on like Amazon or eBay or whatever. I didn't go like crazy with like, you know, some people were like, oh my god, blade apocalypse, and they go out and buy a couple thousand blades. I want to make sure they have their, I mean, I guess that's a valid point. When they have a bigger blade that comes out of there, they want to make sure they got enough to last. It's cheap enough to, I suppose, buy a lifetime supply of the same blade. And you don't have to worry about it. I did buy another sleeve, like 100 pack of them. But I'm not like worried about them, about like never getting to use one again. They're nice. But I have a lot of blades that I think are nice, so I'm not super worried about never having this one again. I like my shicks. I like some of my new old stock shicks and the modern ones. I like the Gillette 7 o'clock blacks, which come out of India. I forgot which way I'm going here. Very comfortable with the grain. No tugginess. It's very smooth. I tend to like these kind of blades with the razors with the neutral exposure. Not all of them. It's kind of hard to say all of them, right? Say 0.68 for blade gap is very common. You see it in like the Game Changer and the Timeless, and it's everywhere. 0.68 was a pretty common manufacturing standpoint for a blade gap, and they would adjust the exposure. But you could have, yeah, I did a video of it once a long time ago. I had like 3 different razors that all had a stated 0.68 blade gap, but they all had slightly different exposures. Or even if some of them don't list the exposure, right? There's a lot of, you know, razor companies that just list the gap as their only measurement value. Then you have 3 with 0.68, and they all feel different, because there's different levels of exposure between the 3. There's different geometry of the blade. You know, like the cutting, the bevel of the blade is at a different angle to your face, because some of them have a more flat blade, some of them have a more torque blade. It's hard to really compare razors just off of those kind of measurements like blade gap and stuff. Exposure helps if you know, like, hey, I got this one has a 0.6 blade gap, but it's got a neutral blade exposure, versus this one has a 0.68 gap and it's got a positive blade exposure of whatever level. That can give you an idea of one will have more blade feel than the other. But it's still not everything, because it doesn't really, there's no way I know to describe geometry. That's the shave. A little bit of touch-ups right there. I know I normally do my touch-up passes off camera, but this one is pretty easy. You just kind of swoop around real quick and get it all. But really nice shave. I really enjoyed using the straight on that first pass. It's getting a lot more fun. I wasn't a little concerned that I wasn't going to get there, and now I do. I feel like I'm going to get there. I feel like straights is something I'm going to be able to master, so that's exciting. If you're thinking about it, it takes a while. I've used straights before this month, here and there, but I used them and then didn't use them, and then I used them and then I didn't use them, and so it was very kind of hit and miss, and I bounced between straights and shavettes trying to figure out what I liked. And so I just kind of stuck with the, hey, I'm just going to use it over and over and over again, and just kind of build that muscle memory, and it's working. You know, the common consensus that everyone in the groups is correct. It works. To just, you know, stick with it, give it, you know, 30 days. I'm like halfway through there, and I'm definitely building a lot of confidence level. I'm getting a lot smoother with my strokes. I didn't get any nicks and cut myself with it, which is always something. So 30 days is working out great. I'm starting incorporating that next shave into the next pass for the next shave. And then at some point, probably after the 30 days, I'll start incorporating the cheek, which has always been, at least at the beginning there, it was hard for me to get against the grain on my cheeks. So we'll figure out how that works out. In the meantime, I'll see you here later this week. Hopefully I'll have the razors from Razor Emporium to show you that I'm really looking forward to the Stay Sharp. But I also had a Wade & Butcher in there. Wade & Butcher Elite was the other razor I sent there. That one's pretty cool too. And I'll see you then to show those off. Hope you guys are having a great week and great holiday coming up.